WordPress comes with a lot of blocks. So as from 2018, WordPress is a so-called page builder based on the so-called block editor. So whenever going to your pages, let's just take the sample page here, you will see that when opening the document overview, at least, you will see that a page consists out of a lot of blocks, in this case 5 blocks, that you can easily go remove, for instance, by selecting them all and click remove at this point. You can also undo that. Or you can also go drag and drop individual paragraphs or individual blocks to any other place. And in some cases you may even want to go add some relief or some layer design, so that paragraphs, in this case for instance, go within the quote, or perhaps even the other way around, the quote goes into the paragraph. That is not allowed. So sometimes that's not allowed, but in this case the quote can also, or the paragraph again, can be taken out, the quote, and now we have an empty quote. Basically a quote apparently needs a paragraph. That's how it works. And I think the original setup was more like this one. So you have that layering that you can go use about all over the place. But let me just point out or show you a couple of important building stones, building bricks of WordPress. The most important block somehow is the group. So the group is somehow of a collector or a collection of HTML elements, and a group can have several layouts, as you see. I usually only go for the first one, and you can have those 3 width types. You can have a full width group, or you can have a wide group. Let's go for the full width at this point. And by selecting them, the group at the left side, you have the block properties at the right coming up by default, allowing you to go modify basically the background color or some preset styles for the group, as you see here. So these styles correspond to your color palette, to your chosen color palette. Good to know. You can add a background image. It's not the best thing to do. However, when having, and that's important, I think, when having a group, you would typically add a paragraph to it. So this is what I'm doing now. I now added a paragraph to my group block, and when selecting the group again, you will notice that, and let me just pick a given style here. You have some interesting options, some padding, for instance, allowing you to create more space around the paragraph. And I accidentally created another paragraph. Gonna get rid of it. Again, you have the padding option when browsing the styles here. You can have top and bottom padding. You can also have the left and right padding that is often used to have, at least you see, you can add a lot of padding, giving your group somehow, or your block, a lot of spacing, a lot of air around the paragraph. It's a very useful element, a useful parameter, padding. The other parameter that is often used is give your block a given fixed height. So one thing to remember here is that when you select 100 VH viewport height, is that this block, this group, will always have the height of your total screen, allowing you to create some hero section, for instance, that would actually take the full screen, whether it be a large screen or a smartphone screen. So this is very useful, that 100 VH. I often use it to be sure that a given block is actually using the complete screen size, screen height in this case. So combining 100% full width at this point and 100 full H viewport height at this point ensures a block that is actually taking up the full space both vertically and horizontally. It's something that you would need to know at some point. So this is about, this is it for the group. Remember that I'm going to use that 100 at this point. You can obviously also go use other things like borders and shadows. The other element that I want to show you, because it's very common and very often used, is the so-called cover. The cover is another element, and it's basically a way to, and I'm going to upload an image at this point. Let me just select one image here. Yeah, it's a bit weird, this image, but anyway. So I have a cover that has a background image, and within my cover automatically the paragraph was created, allowing me to have some text with that background image. You may notice that the background image at this point already has some sort of an overlay. It's getting it by default, and apparently the default overlay color is set by a color pattern, but you can easily go change that. I now have that lila overlay, allowing me to have some overlay opacity, which is good because sometimes when you have a lila or at least a white background, you cannot use a white color, obviously. An overlay, however, is often used with a dark background, allowing you to have white text on some sort of dark background. That's often used, basically. A good thing about the cover, though, is that you can easily go set it there as well to full width, and easily decide on where exactly you want your text to appear. In most cases, you will want it in the middle, obviously, but it's an easy way to go offer centered content on a background image, and this is a very useful way to do so. So apart from those things, there is another neat thing that is supported here on the cover, is to use fixed backgrounds, allowing you to have that background image fixed, which is fun somehow. Now that we're at it, I wanted to show you one thing here. You notice that between the block group here and my cover block, there is a so-called space, and I would reckon it's a 20 pixels margin. In order to get rid of that, you would need to go, I think, and it's a little bug in WordPress, you would need to go drag and drop, at least I think it's on the cover. You would need to go set the margin to 0 explicitly. It looks like it is 0, but it is not. So that is a bit annoying. You would need to go change the margin manually to 0. And now we got rid of that 20 pixels. You see, this is a bug. I don't know why WordPress keeps on adding, why it keeps on adding these white spaces between groups and covers and so on. It doesn't have to. So these two blocks allow you to come up with very nice. There are obviously tons of other blocks that you can use. You can also use, and I strongly suggest you do, you can use full-blown patterns, pre-made blocks that just look good. And even if you do, it's still very useful to go check out how they did that. So for instance, if we go have a little look here at one of these blocks, let me just add this block. So there again, it's actually entering, or it's going somewhere where I didn't want it. Doesn't matter. I can easily go drag. Remember, I can easily go drag the the block where I want it. So you notice that that hero full width image is a cover. It is a cover, including a group, and that group has a header, a paragraph, and some buttons, at least one button. And the good thing here is that you see that the position, the content position here has been set to bottom, centered bottom. However, the group is undoing that centering because it's not centering its content. However, it allows you to have bottom center text on a large background screen. This is design wise very interesting. So even if you use these so-called patterns, it's very useful to go check how they do that, because obviously the WordPress guys use every single bit in WordPress to go suggest these patterns to you, so you can easily go learn from them, and maybe try some variations. So this is very important. Just remember the group block, the cover block, very important blocks for you to go play with. Set widths, set heights, use padding. Make sure you know or you understand how to drag and drop elements. Be careful there though, because sometimes you drag and drop without knowing, and then you may be totally lost as well. And try to go create layered blocks, so layered designs. You see that this button is actually already the fourth layer in our setup here. Get yourself or make yourself, I forgot a word. I mean, make it your own. Learn how to go use these blocks, and obviously also go experiment with other blocks, like a gallery, very nice block. And there are some other very nice blocks that you can go use, like columns, allowing you to create columns. And then obviously you have a lot of widgets here. In one of the next videos, we will add even more blocks by adding plugins to WordPress. For now, go play with the custom or with the default WordPress blocks, because they allow you to create very attractive websites already without any other plugin or whistle or bell.